Alright, what we're gonna do is go back. Way back. Well, kinda. We'll start with Buxom and Maud. Together they had 9 children. 6 girls, followed by 3 boys. They named their youngest daughter Maggie. She married Fred. They had 2 sons and 1 daughter. I am the oldest of them. I'm Kendra.
The middle boy, they named Herbert. Well, his name is Aubrey, but we'll get into that later. He married Deborah, and they had 3 girls. I am the oldest of them. I'm Tawana.
The third oldest was a girl they named Sadie. She married a man named Roosevelt, and they would have 3 kids together, the oldest of which was Darryl. He met and married Antoinette, and they too would have 3 kids together. And with their oldest, they gave Buxom and Maud their very first great-grandchild. That was me, Martine.
The oldest of them all, and bossy second mama to many, was a girl named Blossom. She married Jean, and the 2 of them had 7 children together. Wow. The tallest of them was Jerome. He married Juanita and had 2 sons. The oldest of them was me, Junie. So, y'all catch all that? Anyway.
Hey, cousin!
What's going on, y'all? And welcome back to another installment, another week of Hey Cousin. So, as usual for season 2, we're going to start this bad boy out with a cousin's letter coming in, and resident cousin Martine is going to read it to us. So, Martine, what you got for us today?
All right, so today we have this is a really serious topic that I can definitely relate to. So here's the letter. Dear Hey Cousins, my family and I listen to your podcast often and have learned so much from the topics discussed. I have an uncle who I have to say doesn't have the healthiest eating habits, and because of it has now been diagnosed with diabetes. He's often in pain, and when we take him to the hospital, he's constantly rejected as if he's just wanting pain medication and not really in any grave condition. How can we as a community assist our family and close friends on the benefits of healthy eating? How can we also convince them to take the necessary steps in going to seek health care when all they receive is rejection from people who're supposed to be trained to help? Please help if you can. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like, for starters, resident cousin or extended cousin rather, I definitely empathize with your plight. I know that is a really tough situation to be in, to have to advocate for a family member in the United States medical system, because obviously a whole bunch of shit in the US ain't set up for us, but in that medical field, they will literally see you with a broken bone and be like, you're all right with your black ass. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a terrible thing, but it makes us need to fight much harder to advocate for ourselves and our loved ones, right? So as far as that goes, I say you can't let up, and you have to make sure that you keep fighting and keep encouraging your loved one to understand that they have support. And if they don't have a whole bunch of support, they at least have your support. And as far as getting them on board with like a health journey, that's another really difficult thing to introduce into the Black family dynamic, because for whatever reason, I think we as a people have probably been through so much that, especially specifically with diabetes, like it's a lot of the time it's a food directed disease. So your diet has caused your diabetes most times, right? And one of the comforts that we as Black people, one of the things that we really rally around is food and eating and getting together and having a good time, right? Because there hasn't been a lot of time for us to have good times. And I think one of the things that you could do to help, just infiltrate a better, more healthy practice into your family, so maybe diabetes won't be down the line, and maybe like those who already have it can work on reversing that for themselves. Just introducing like more health conscious things into the family, like kind of shifting the conversation around so much negative food habits to like, yo, like let's just all go for a walk after. And I mean, I'm not talking your typical cousins walk after, you know, a family meal, but like just a walk, like where you and the whole family go out and like burn some energy, burn some calories, because you know it's other races out here doing that, and we're like kind of last to the party. So those are the things that I can add. I'm praying for you and your family, and your loved one, and I just pray that you know, things can turn around and that they get the help that they need.
Yeah, I'll tap in on that. Just like you said, Junie, we have a lot of history on, unfair treatment. But at the same time, I think it's time, especially at this point in life, for us to start looking at we can't accept anything we get. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes because you went to that doctor all your life, if that doctor's not serving you in the way that you feel that is in your best interest, you need to find a new doctor. I think a lot of times we get caught up on tradition and we only do this one thing, but this is a capitalistic society, so it's a market. So you need to go to different doctors till you find a doctor that's going to understand your plight and actually work with you to help you get better and not just give you some Motrin like they did in the military. They give you some Motrin and send you back to your room. But you have to get somebody that's going to really have your best interest at heart. And it might take some time. But I think a lot of times, if you start going to the doctor with small issues and you're not going to the right doctor, those issues begin to snowball. And also, I believe in diet and healthy living. I work out and all that stuff myself. And I think the thing that really gets us, because when we're young, we eat all kinds of stuff. But the difference is, as we get older, a lot of people just stop, working out. You don't walk. You don't do anything active. So if you don't have some type of regimen to keep yourself active and breaking down those muscles and making them regrow to keep rejuvenating your body, you're going to have these issues. Because if anything that's like not in motion is going to be stagnant, and anything that's stagnant is going to be ransacked with disease over time. And that's the biggest thing I'm seeing in our community is people like after you get out of high school, maybe college, you don't do shit no more. Just sit down, watch TV. Oh man, I'm too tired to do such and such and this and that. But again, this is your life. So, and on top of that, you're eating damn barbecue, pig parts and all this other stuff, which is fine if you get up and you actually do some activity to kind of burn that stuff off. But if not, it keeps sitting on you, and if your body, all disease comes from congestion, which means that your body isn't circulating and moving things around like it's supposed to because you're not giving it the energy it needs to, generate that force. So find a doctor that works for you, I would say, and also start implementing activity and exercise, like you said, Junie, walking, running, going to the gym, or some type of activity every day to keep your body, rebuilding new cells and things of that nature. So that would be my advice.
I have to agree. First and foremost, I just want to say, as a whole, culturally, how as a community, the food choices that we have, these were things that were traditionally passed down to us. These were the scraps that we received. So therefore, we continue to cook the same way, right? So let's just say this person doesn't have the option or knows the alternative to pork and beans, ham hocks, whatever the case is, whatever the situation is. In my opinion, I just feel like everything in moderation is fine. Right. So when you add that exercise and you add that activity to those things, I feel like everything should be fine. In reference to healthcare, I've seen it myself where we are often rejected when it comes to pain management because we're looked at as if we have the opioid addiction. We just want pills. We just want to pop pills, or there's an ulterior motive to it. So I've seen it myself. I've seen it happen, and it's a disgrace. But as y'all stated, you have to advocate for yourself. You are your biggest advocate. And if that doctor isn't doing what you need and what's required for your health at the time, then you have a choice. There are options. There isn't just one community hospital the way it was back in the day. You have several. And if it's not around the corner, it may be 20 miles. Get to that other hospital so you can get the services and the care that you require. As a community, should we be doing better for ourselves? Absolutely, we should. We have to do better. And we can't constantly blame the medical and the health system, because it's a lot of Black and brown now in the medical system and in healthcare. And you see a lot more of us. So we have a greater understanding of when you walk in of what's going on, what these symptoms are, what they're due to. When you say your food choices, we get it because we eat the same thing. We understand. So we know how to apply it to a regimented, healthier health plan. So I just feel like doing your research and just doing better as a whole will really, really help in this situation, and to continue to advocate for your uncle, because also our older generations don't really have the tools or the terminology to use when they are walking into the health care system. My grandmother's in her 70s, so she does very well because she's a registered dietitian, so she knows the terminology, she knows what to use, she gets it, but everybody's not in that field and gets it and understands. So I just feel like advocating for your people is very important as well.
Everybody said everything. So the only thing I got to say is stop cooking them slave meals, because that's basically, I tell my mama all the time, nobody want that slave meal, nobody want that slave meal, sis. We only do slave meals once a week. And you know what I'm saying? Well, I do the gravies and the macaroni and cheese and the cornbread, and like we have to be. So Kendrick kind of talked about the, both of you, Martine and Kendrick, kind of talked about the meals that we used to eat or whatever. So, and I think Junie was saying being open-minded. One of the things that my mom has had diabetes and has gotten off of the pill because all she did was change her diet. So diabetes and high cholesterol and all those type of ailments and illnesses are directly linked to the things that we are putting in our body. So being open-minded about changing your food choices. I mean, it's just as simple as that. My whole entire family is on this program that is doing amazing in our family. Did y'all see our cousin that just turned 50 that looked like she's 35?
Who?
My
Yolanda.
No,
aunt.
I don't see none of
really?
Yolanda's pictures.
I gotta
She
get
put
on
it on
social
Facebook?
media more.
She's
I
on
don't-
Facebook. She looks
Okay.
amazing, and she's a part
Good.
of the program that our entire family is kind of jumping on.
Want to
So-
go ahead and say the program now.
Okay.
They done enough for our family.
Put it a secret.
Listen.
we get paid to Jeff now. I'm just playing. So Jeff Spoon is the creator of this program called E2M. And I'm telling you, you have to be open-minded about your health, because initially my little sister, she was overweight. She was eating bags of candy, chips, soda, drinking energy drinks, all those things that are not good for your body, like sugar and carbs. Look, guys, that's sometimes, that's moderation. That's
Yeah.
moderation. You can't eat that kind of stuff every day, because it will have a direct effect on your health and on your body. But she started the program last January, and when she started the program and we saw her the first 8 weeks, we was like, man, she got filters on. They ain't nobody, she was no weight. We were still hating. And that second 8 weeks where we was like, oh, she almost my size. I started running. I was like, no, she can't catch up with me. No, boo, no, bad tomato. She can't catch up with me. And and she begged me, she was like, Tawana, this program has changed my life. I was like, well, I could just work out myself. And she said, I was like, no, I don't want to pay it. She said, Tawana, let's just do it as a family. And because my mom has challenges outside of the diabetes now, let's do it as a family. I'll pay for it for a week. I was like, well, since you're going to pay for it for a week, then maybe I will try. You know, since you pay for it for a couple of weeks, I got into the groove of it. I started doing the exercise. So just to say all of that, I want to say do something with your family together that you
Yes.
guys can hold each other accountable, because
Yeah.
that's what she did with us. And because she did that with us, my dad, my mom, and all three of us lost like 20 pounds in 8 weeks. And it was something we did to kind of help my mom with her journey, and being open-minded and accepting, okay, I had to change the way I eat. And this is a lifestyle. This is not just a dieting program.
Right.
Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, I have to eat clean. I have to drink my water. I have to put myself in an eating window. That's stuck in my mind now, period. It's
Mm-hmm.
stuck in my mind now. And then I don't work out every day, but when I do work out, so if I skip a day, I've created this thing where I know I'm not going to work out every day because I'm a mom and I got a whole bunch of other stuff going on just like everybody else. But when I do work out, I'm working out for 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours. So that helps me balance it out with the everyday. So I feel like, okay, if I give an hour to working out, it's only 5% of your day. 5%. I can at least give myself 5% to make sure that I'm okay. Those are the kind of, you have to change your thought process around, you know, around bad habits that you've created concerning your health. And then, like everybody else was saying with the health professionals, find somebody that's going to speak directly to you as an individual, somebody that you're going to relate with, somebody that going to understand our culture and
Mm-hmm.
understand all of us ain't built the same. Like, y'all got us on this scale that we're obese if we're over this a certain amount of pounds, when we're not built like Caucasians. We don't, some of
Literally,
us,
the muscle mass is more for us
it's
more often
way
than
Way,
not.
more for us.
way more. And
Way
you see
more.
that if you have kids, you see that with your kids in that random behind growth chart. My
Yes.
son was always off the chart. He was never on the chart. He was always off the chart. And I'm like, that in itself says a lot. We're just
Mm-hmm.
not the same. We're not the
We're
same.
not the same. So, you can't compare me to this standardized
Mm.
Barbie or Ken look, because that's not how we are built. So, find the right doctors like everybody else is saying, and be open-minded and make the commitment, find accountability partners. And I think that'll take care of a lot of things. They say mindfulness, when you're mindful, that means that you're always thinking in the now, and you're always thinking about ways that you can work on you. That takes up 95% of all your problems.
Yes.
So that's where I am with that whole situation.
One of the things that I'm finding in like the conversation that we're having right now is that there's a thread of this blind loyalty that we as black people have just in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we have this blind loyalty to the doctor that we've been going to, the hospital that we've been going to. We got this blind loyalty to the food that's been killing us for years and years and years. And if you circle back, you had this blind loyalty after we were freed as slaves in the Americas. And them motherfuckers went back and worked for the same people that slaved them for decades or centuries prior. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
And
it's
got gypped again.
and gypped again. You know what I'm saying? Like half of them ain't even tell them they was free. It's like, oh yeah, y'all was free a little while ago, y'all. You know
But
what I'm saying? Like,
I think it comes from fear. It comes from fear. So when
yeah,
you've been oppressed for so long, it's that fear of, am I really free? Like, what do I do now? Like, you just lost. You
yeah,
really are lost. And as a community, I feel like we don't do a great job at gathering together. We don't build each other up. We don't promote each other. We don't assist in the journey of that movement. Like, it's a lot of things that we can do better as a whole. I say it all the time. The Hispanic community, when one person got a job, they all got a goddamn job. Just be patient.
mm-hmm.
Papo and Pito, you about to work next week because I'm gonna get you in. We don't do that. We don't do that at all. And we have to do better as a whole. And we are the number one community that looks after our elders. Like, we rarely put our parents, our grandparents in nursing homes. So why
That's
not?
true.
Why not? Why take on that whole burden by yourself when you can act as a group and all chip in. Like, all right, let's get together. Let's do this. We seldomly do that. Seldomly.
And even
Martina,
to piggy, I was just gonna say, even to piggyback real quick on what Martine was saying, like if you're working now for your parents that are, still a little younger in the grand scheme of things,
yeah,
that nursing home situation might not even be in the cards because they're gonna be so active and they're gonna be so with it. They won't even need a nursing home. They might not even need to stay with you. So it's all gonna affect you in the long run anyway. So help your peoples out. Go ahead, Tawana. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to piggyback off of what Martine was saying too. It's like they don't know what to do. And most of the times, this is what we use in the sales world. A confused mind always says no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Always says like, if you don't know, if you don't know. If you don't point them or guide them or GPS them to the right route and the right thing to do and say, hey guys, this is how we doing things now, then it's just gonna be like, no, I'm just you stay stagnant, you stay in stuck energy, like Kendrick was saying. And when you're in stuck energy, toxicity, you rot out from the inside out. So you have so I think it's very important that we rally together as family and as a community of people around the things. And I do feel like slowly but surely, this new generation that don't like to work because unemployment got effed up the entire world. That $900 a week people was getting during the pandemic.
Hey, Tawana, your sound is
changed. Yeah.
It like shifted. It got real thin.
Jesus. Yeah, it's still a little.
I wonder why. Hold on, I'm gonna let you guys.
It sounds a little better. It sounds a little better.
I'm gonna make one of you co-hosts and go. What is this on here? Let me go out and come back, and I'll make one of you co-hosts, and then go out, make you the host, and then go out and come back.
Okay.
But go ahead with the conversation, Kendrick. I know you're gonna have to edit this.
That's cool. Okay, so just like the funny thing about this whole thing is black people being in competition, but about the most dumb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like to hear that to one of them, they're working together as far as, okay, well, if we don't compete about something, let's compete about being the healthiest. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that strengthens our family as a whole. Yeah. And like you were saying, Junie, I was thinking about this weekend. How many of us have ever read the Bible from cover to cover?
I mean, pretty close.
I know, I can't say.
I ain't even gonna front. I'm doing it now because I got an Audible. But also, what about like voting and things of that nature? You got like the Democratic Party and Republican Party. Each of them have documents that kind of breaks down. And we didn't learn that in school. We didn't get any information about that stuff, and most people probably wouldn't even know it exists now.
Yeah.
And my point is that, like you said, Junie, we go like blindly over everything. So how can you have enough information to make an informed decision if you don't know the basis of the systems that you're making decisions on?
Right.
Yeah. It's very true. Very true. But there's a lot of things that we don't know. We don't even have self-awareness. I think it starts first and foremost with self-awareness. And once we get a great handle on that and a grasp of that, then we can move forward with everything else within ourselves. I just feel like after transitioning here to the South, I've seen so many people just seem stuck. And I'm just like, no growth. They have no aspirations. There are no goals. There's nothing. They're just content with the lack of. Mm-hmm. And then while they're sitting there, they're complaining. So it just confuses me. You know, complain and don't you want to change it? I don't get it.
It's one of the things I think we don't give ourselves credit for the constant in our lives, which is time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like Tawana was saying that, you know, she has a thing where if she misses a day of workout, she got to make that workout up, right? So for me, my thing that I've infiltrated in my head is like, if I wake up crazy early in the morning, can't get back to sleep, it's like, yo, I'm about to lay here for a whole hour trying to get back to sleep. Why don't I get my butt up, do my workout, so that's out of the way, and then if I sleep, I sleep. If not, whatever, you know. And those are the things that we just don't look at time in the reality of what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody be like, oh, I'll never get back in shape. And it's like 6 months later, you still saying the same thing. But
Absolutely.
6 months ago, if you went into action, then you would be a completely different person. And once again, to shout out Tawana's little sister, Tara. Tara's killing it. Like,
Yeah, Tara doing her thing.
I'm like, go ahead, girl. Like, she's goals for real. Like, I gotta get on her train. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm behind her, but I ain't right up neck and neck yet. But I'm coming for you though, Tara.
She doing 2-a-days. She's literally doing 2-a-days. And you know, sometimes things in our life forces us, like disappointment, hurt, pain, illnesses, love, getting married. People have different goals. So I think when you set your life around goals that you're trying to obtain, as far as, you know, weight loss, I think that helps. But sometimes things propel us in a way that you wouldn't expect. And with her, it was just like, you know what, instead of me being mad about that, I'm gonna focus on me. I'm gonna focus on me. And when I focus, as you can see, when somebody focuses on themselves, it's like water cutting through rocks. You know what I'm saying? Focus. One thing about focus is that it can cut through. Like, if water keeps hitting over rocks, it eventually breaks that rock down. People don't know that. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the analogy I use when I think about weight loss. Like, if I keep focusing, if I put a goal around this, then I'm killing a lot of birds with one stone. I'm killing the diabetes that runs in my family. So why wouldn't I be concerned about that? I'm killing the possible cancer cells, the toxic cancer cells, because that runs rapid in our family on both sides for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm killing the big belly monster. You got to go, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because surgery is not an option for me. It's just not an option for me. One girl from the island just passed away last week from getting a tummy tuck. Cardiac arrest.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's another thing
plays
too.
into self-awareness. That plays into that role. So now you're gonna have this surgery, which is very invasive surgery, and you're not even aware of your body, right? Because she probably shouldn't have been approved for the surgery to begin with.
Right. Exactly.
How they wasn't working out towards it.
Yeah, when you're unhealthy, going to have these invasive surgeries, what do you think is going to happen? The results is not going to be great. It's going to be grave, because it's going to be like life or death, literally. The same thing with childbearing and childbirth. Women don't understand that is life or death at times.
Yes. They say one foot in the grave, one foot out.
Yeah. People make it like, oh, we just spit them out and it's eat. No, honey, that is life or death. Right? Because maybe if you had a great experience, good for you. Kudos for you. Everybody does not have the same experience when it comes to things such as that. So self-awareness is very important. It's very, very important.
And let me say this about self-awareness. About self-awareness, the thing about self-awareness is sometimes require movement. All of us are in different places because we are not where we started at.
That's
a lot of people get so caught up in a rut because you're around the same people, the same ideas. Everyone else is thinking and doing the same thing, so you're not motivated to do anything different. It takes a lot of courage to be self-aware, because once you're self-aware, then you have to take action. And action sometimes is hard. You're going to have to go through some hard times. You're going to have to really stretch and grow to become a better person. And a lot of people, at the end of the day, I think it's kind of full of you know what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you want to, you can make it happen.
Absolutely.
But you got to want to.
Yeah.
And when you want to bad enough, you'll take the proper action almost despite yourself.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So self-awareness it sounds easy, but it's hard. Because number one, moving like you just moved recently, Martine, from a place that you've known for a long time. So you're
I've
relearning yourself.
Yeah, and I've moved a lot. One thing I have to say, I've moved a lot. I don't want to sound like my friend called me a gypsy.
No, me too. I'm the same way. I'm all over
But
the place.
thing is, I don't have that fear, right? I
Not
don't
me
have
either.
that
Exactly.
fear. If I feel like I'm not fully fulfilled in this place, why am I sitting here and then I'm going to keep complaining and complaining and complaining? Yeah. What I do is weigh my options, and that's for the listeners, that's for the viewers, that's for everybody. You weigh your options. I had to think differently now. I have a kid. What do I want for him? Do I still want this hustle and bustle and shooting out? And when I go downstairs, I have chicken bones on the floor. Like, do I still want that? Do I want that for him? No, you think differently. You set your goals, you execute. Is there going to be a loss? Yes. The South definitely, when it comes to salary, does not pay like the North. So that was one of the things I had to be like, about. But it's called sacrifice, and you do the pros and the cons. I'm not going to sit still. I've never been the type of person to be fearful of something. If it don't happen, pick yourself up, try again. Simple stuff. And you do that in all areas of your life, because that's life. I don't want to live a life of shoulda, woulda, coulda, I shoulda, dida. No, I'm just going to do it and then tell you the outcome from that. When my son has questions and he's going through his own journey, I have things to tell him. Well, when I did this is what happened. This was the result or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe you need to tweak this right here. That way that doesn't happen for you. Simple stuff. A lot of us are so afraid of that. We're afraid of failing. We're afraid of the unknown kind of thing. And we just stay stuck. And then while we stuck, we complaining. I have a friend who calls me all the time complaining. Okay, what the hell? You've been complaining for years.
Yeah. And you can't sit around and allow somebody to complain in that way around you. Like, if you are somebody who's trying to, make yourself better, it's up to you to try to make your circle better too. And it's like, we got to start having those uncomfortable conversations. And I know you, Martine, are having that with that homegirl. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a quote that that comes to mind that I love, and I always remind myself of it anytime I'm feeling afraid or scared or something, right? And it says that courage is nothing but action in the presence of fear. So it's like, you can be afraid, and it's fine for you to be afraid. But as long as you are doing something, as long as you are in action, you are still being courageous, and that is commendable. And we got to be courageous with ourselves, with our lives, with our bodies, because you only get the one, yo.
Absolutely.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely. And I feel like as a whole, as a family, our family, I want to talk about our family. We're very supportive in that aspect. It doesn't matter where I live. I still have the support of my family.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've lived so many places and the support never left. So that in itself shows that it works. The support is still there. You're just in a different location. That should not define your overall being, your overall goals. Make everything happen for self. Whatever works for you and your family, your kids, make it happen. You have to be your biggest advocate. You do, because nobody's going to do it for you.
And I just want to just drop these nuggets on y'all. Instead of y'all taking the shortcut, I'm going back to the shortcut surgery. I found this nurse. Don't take the shortcut.
Don't do it.
What? Don't please tell me. What?
Okay, so lipo is okay. I feel like lipo isn't surgery, so you can get lipo. I'm on lipo.
No, it's still invasive surgery. They gotta cut you open to get that out.
What are you talking about?
It's like it's a pinhole.
It's
you
a
talking
small
about the size of the incision? That's the only difference. But you can also bleed out. You can also
invasive.
Bleed out.
Yeah, so okay. I just go
Stop
can't
it.
call it pot. I can't call it pot.
No shortcuts at all.
No shortcuts. Okay,
None.
so everybody saying no
Zero.
shortcuts. I was trying to give y'all a break. I was trying to say
you forget my mom is in that field. So I've seen it. Working with her. So, I've seen it. That's still invasive. That's still invasive. Very invasive, because they can hit the wrong organ with that tube going in.
Oh.
Remember, they're trying to get the fat, but I mean, you got to have a real great physician who knows what they're doing. So, I mean, it's still invasive, and you still have to be fully aware of your own body. Can your body withhold all of that?
That's true. Okay, so y'all, no shortcuts because number one, and I found this online. Let me tell y'all why. Most women need blood transfusions after these type surgeries. Sometimes the doctor that you pay for surgery isn't the person doing the surgery, it's their nurse practitioner.
Bam.
There's a lot of fake nurses in Miami that say that they can do this. Fake nurses and people that are doing butt injections, they're doing these surgeries. They're saying, "Oh, we could do it for less than that, taking your money," and you end up with bricks in your butt.
You got
cement in your butt. The next thing is fat embolisms can cause cardiac arrest. People don't know that. You can fall into a long-term post-op depression. Most women need blood transfusions afterwards, like I said before. Another one is you don't wake up. Some people die 7 to 10 days after the surgery. Some women never wake up. So if you know this going into this surgery and you're like, okay, I am so selfish and I want this bad enough, I'm going to risk all of that. Like, you know, when you hear those, all of the symptoms, like they're like, okay, we got this medicine that's going to take care of this. But the side effects is teeth growing
worse than what you got.
Diarrhea.
Exactly. Loose bowels. But you know what?
Your eye gonna be on the side of, but I'm gonna do it though, girl. I'm just have a little eye over here. I'm gonna just have a little eye over here. That's it. I'm gonna still do it.
That's what they make shades for.
That's right.
But your shades shift to the one side. You know what? Just to go back to the self-awareness aspect of it, I think if you don't force yourself to grow, I think people use food in our community, especially food, drugs, sex, and all these things, as a form of slow suicide. Suicide that's basically like, you know, I'm not gonna pull a trigger, but what I'll do is I'll just let my body go to death.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, basically. You know what it is, especially we're in the information age where your kids know how to damn Google anything in the world.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the courage, or you saying that you don't have the courage to step out and expand yourself, that's what you do. You start, okay, I'm gonna start drinking every day. I'm gonna start eating everything I can eat to try to go ahead and end this pain. But I don't wanna take the bait. I don't wanna grab a rope or grab a gun. I'll just use these other vices that I know aren't good for me in excess to go ahead and get me out the game. When I see a whole lot of that, and you can kind of tell if a person is not mindset by the conversation they have. It's like you said, complaining and stuff. Me and Martine are very similar in our approaches to things when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, if you complain to me more than once, you probably won't have access to complain to me a third time.
You ain't gonna want to with me. You're gonna be going back to
I'm not even going back and forth with you because, again, it takes so much of your energy to stay motivated, especially when you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone constantly to keep yourself grounded and moving forward. That, okay, if I'm picking up your stuff, now I got to come back to where I'm leaving from. Nah, I'm not doing that. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, our society and our community as a whole depends on the individual. So the farther we push ourselves is going to be an example to our children, our family members, and the people who actually want to do something are going to be inspired to the level that they're going to start doing the same things. That's why I really like what y'all doing with the whole, if you're going to compete about anything, compete about something to make us all better.
Yeah.
You know,
I also think that we need to slow down and just be patient because we also look for fast results, right?
Really,
and
exactly.
I can hold myself accountable and responsible for that. Let me tell you, if I work out on Monday, I expect to see results Thursday. That's the only thing.
Like, what's going on?
Mid workout, like it's going somewhere.
Yes,
I'm still fat. I just worked out.
My stomach got tight. What happened?
That's why it's a lifestyle. It's about the lifestyle.
Understand that you weren't like this in a day, right?
Right, absolutely.
If we look back to the old years, we were pretty slim. So, girl, it took time. So it's going to take time for you to get back to where you want to be. And like I said, I have to raise my hand and be like, I'm one of those. I be like, look, I ate good Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so Friday, I need to be slim in a size 5. What happened? What's going on?
Martine, I want to piggyback on that. That's that's unrealistic. Like, we got to set realistic goals.
Come
like,
on. Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing for me, because the same thing happened with me, girl. I was working out for 2 weeks and was like, it ain't happening. Boom.
But
It
it's
took you
excuses.
way more than 2 weeks. Yeah, it took you. You don't want to keep up with you want the fast results so you can kind of slack off. No, that's
and you want to
not
find a reason to go back into that negative habit of eating the crap and eating this. Well, I'm gonna just eat this because it ain't working anyway. No, you just
I'm gonna tell y'all, it takes
reason to go back. It takes time.
It takes time. It takes at least 4 weeks for you to see any type of like, and if you want to see a healthy 10 pounds come off of you, and you're on this, like, even if you're just clean eating Monday through Friday, and when I say clean eating, that's no carbs, that's no sugars, that's just a meat and a vegetable for breakfast or lunch or whatever. I only eat 2 meals a day because I drink a gallon of water. And I was proud to say, okay, out of the month of January, for 16 to 18 days, I drunk a gallon of water a day out of 18 days in January. So those kind of accomplishments, I used to drink one bottle of water and
thought you was good.
Something.
No.
You got 6
hydrated.
You got 6 more of these to go, baby. If you try to clean your body out, because that water cleanses. Water cleanses, man. It does.
But the thing about it is, I was just about to say, you can. If you don't see the results, I feel the results. I feel different in my clothes. My clothes feel different. They're looser. My buttons aren't screaming when they were just screaming last week. Like, help me, Lord. Like, it's a difference. So it is happening. It is happening. Your face is clearer because you're eating right.
Inches are coming off.
Growing. Yeah, so it's like there is a transition, there is a change happening. It just takes time, and people need to be patient.
Right.
And I want to give you guys a timeline. So for me on the first 4, now the heavier you are, you're gonna lose way more weight. So it is definitely based on your body, your body or whatever. But for me, I would say I feel like I was about 35 to 50 pounds overweight. I'll say that based on the standardized chart. And it took me the first 8 weeks. It took me 4 weeks to lose a healthy 10 pounds. And then by the end of the 8 weeks, because of some of the options that they have, I mean, the program is stringent. I'm gonna tell you, the first 8 weeks, if you get through the first 8 weeks, you can kind of adapt it and, make it yours or whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if you stick to that program, I lost 25 pounds, and I can't remember how many inches, but I saw more inches off than weight, and that's important to me because I don't want to
be.
I don't want to be like I don't like
want
my
to be too
curves.
skinny. Me too. So that's how
I'm a grown woman.
I feel the same way. I after JC on, I was like 250 pounds. 250 pounds and like 5'3", 5'4". That is not cute.
No,
not cute.
No.
So, and then it's like, he'll be 8 this year. How long you gonna blame it? Yeah, because I had a kid.
The baby weight.
It's like this grown man over here.
He's like a grown up.
It's like, what?
Because I had a kid. Like, come on, enough is enough. And another thing, I like the fact that we can, have that competition. But for some of those people who they look at Facebook and look at people and they just like, it's not for them. Because you have some people who don't get motivated. They get defeated when they see someone moving quicker than they are. And I just feel like don't give up. That's their journey. You have to create your own. And at your own pace. Going from a size like 18, now I'm a 10, 12 kind of, depending on when I want to feel real skinny, I shop at Ashley Stewart. Size 10, and I'm like, yes, okay.
I was gonna say, Martine,
that's drastic. That's a lot.
Yeah, that is. And I want to say, I don't mean to keep talking about the program, but the program is very motivational. People post their pictures and everything. to help motivate you and hold you accountable. Like, look, if my fat ass can do this, you can do this too.
You could do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really what they're saying, and
Yep.
that's what I see now. Now, Facebook, what you were saying, could have also an adverse effect. You're looking at
Yes.
people, you fat as hell, you don't know what to
Yes.
do, you don't want to do anything, and then you go into a state of depression, or you're like, okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna do the
Mhm.
quick fix, and I'm gonna just go ahead and just get it cut off, and then I'll just maintain from there. Like, you have to open your mind, and you cannot be negatively influenced by social media, because
Yes.
I believe that's why one of our friends from the island died, because she's looking at everybody. Oh my God, her stomach is so
And she
flat. Oh
wants
my
the
God, she's
easy.
so
Yes.
cute.
What's
Oh my
wrong with
God, her
that?
clothes look
That's
so
why I said
nice
what I
on
said.
her. Yeah,
Let me
and
tell you,
she's like,
social
man,
media is so precedent in some people's lives. It's crazy. Like,
I
and they don't
agree.
understand the falsehood that comes with it sometimes, because you have people on there that I think they forget that you really know them. When they
Yeah.
post
It's like,
things,
I just saw you yesterday.
like,
I just saw your fat ass face the other day.
got them filters on blast.
Angles and shit.
Like, nah,
and I need people to understand the reality of stuff like that. Like, you know, you have to just make this your own journey and gauge it the way you need to gauge it for yourself. You can't compare and
Yeah.
contrast. You can't. We're all different. We all have different things that we want to work on, and we all have different things. Like, I'm with you, Tawana, where I don't want to lose too much weight. I don't want to be sitting and having baggy, droopy pants in the back.
Yeah.
You buy new pants, the new fitted
Yeah.
pants. Don't
You're
let
right,
that stop
exactly.
you.
Honey,
Not the old pants.
let me tell you, that droopy look is not cute.
Got them,
It's
them
not.
back pockets touching. Yeah, that's not a good look on a woman. Her back pockets touching.
But I definitely want to touch on one element that we haven't touched on yet, and it's the negativity that is already present in the Black experience around weight. Like, I feel like, are probably the only race where maybe you have gained 5 pounds, but as soon as you walk into the place, you got somebody who's 275 talking about, dang, you got big. And it's like, if you don't shut your fat ass up, talk to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, instead of the conversation being like, hey, like, I'm trying to lose a little bit too. Like, let's both go out. It's like we in competition to talk about who done got fatter in the least amount of time. You know what I'm saying? And I realize now I have to get really present with that, especially now that I'm an adult in our family. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to keep your mouth shut. Like, I had an experience over one of the holidays. I won't say which one, because you probably be able to like pick and choose. Like, okay, he was with this person during that holiday. So
Don't say
listen,
We'll figure it out.
listen,
Don't say it. Don't say it.
this relative told me I had made a little breakfast sandwich, and like, it was one. I'm also on E2M, so I know how to moderate myself throughout the time frames. But you know, I let a little loose sometimes, but I get back on it. You know, when I need to. You know what I'm saying? Or when I know that the week is over with, right? So it was the holidays. I was trying to be a little free, and I had like a little breakfast sandwich and like some breakfast potatoes on my plate, and it's like, oh, you gonna mess around and get back big again? And I said, excuse me? I said, oh, first of all, I'm gonna be back in the gym on Monday working out and doing my circuits, so that's not gonna happen. And then this same person sat down with a second plate of breakfast, and guess what I said, y'all? I said, oh, you got another plate, huh? Oh. I said, you on second breakfast, huh? And they said, oh, well, I was just doing it because I had to take it with my medication. And I said,
gotta hold your ass.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
why you
our
work
family
for them and not you? That is
exactly.
funny.
Our family
And
is
it happens
just
all the
that.
time. It happens all the time. And the crazy part is, I used to hear that when I was smaller.
Oh God, yeah.
It didn't make no sense. When I look at pictures, I'm like, why were they calling me fat? Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make no sense. What?
Meanwhile, they 2 tons of fun over there.
300
But you know what?
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But you know what, guys? They don't look at what I've come to realize. Our family is good at that, and I'm sure other cousins out there, y'all family probably say that too. Damn, you done gained some weight, honey. What you doing? You stressed?
You getting thick around there?
what they feeding y'all down there? I know that happens in families, but at the end of the day, I feel like that too is a negative
It is.
approach,
It is.
and we got to kind of change the way we approach things because weight is so sensitive. It's a sensitive subject. And I realize too, parents and aunties and family members, they think we're gonna be kids for the rest of our life. You think I'm gonna be looking like a stick for the rest of my life? You think I'm
That's pretty much what we look like, bobbleheads.
Yeah, because if that ain't work for you, I don't know how you think it's gonna work for me.
Okay. We're not gonna be kids for the rest of our lives, family member. Like
it goes.
We're gonna grow up and we're going to full out, and at the same time we need to maintain. So I think we do have to be conscious of what we like. Now that we're having this conversation, I feel like we need to be conscious to not say that to the younger generation coming up behind us.
Absolutely.
Here's my thing. Let's go back to self-awareness. You have to set goals for yourself, and who cares what somebody else thinks? Especially, consider the source is what I always say. You can't say anything about me that you're not where I would want to be if we had to switch places. So that to me discounts your opinion instantly. Yeah. So I work out like myself. I work out like every day, in some form or fashion. So if somebody was like, "Are you getting big?" It's like you ain't even say nothing just now. Because if I had to switch places, like I wouldn't want to be where you at. So why would your opinion even affect me? So we have to be more mentally strong as individuals, especially with goals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because people say anything to kind of like throw something in your the way to kind of slow you down, but. Look at the source. Consider the source is my go through.
Projection.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But don't take advice from anybody that you would never take advice from, especially if they never walked a mile. Like it's hard for me to take advice from somebody who has never been married, but giving me advice about being married. Like,
absolutely
the ones though. But they always the ones, just like
always.
The individuals.
I
used to have a friend that lived at home but wanted to tell me like what to look for in a house and
like how you know how you know
I don't
and I'll ask you the question like, oh, so how'd you find your house? Oh, well, I ain't got no house. Like, yes, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna beat that out.
Keep it in, Kendrick. Keep it in.
Straight up, like when you start trying to be better, I'm not saying that you're better than anybody else, but if you're making decisions to make yourself where you want to be, no one else has a say in that. And if you allow them, that's your fault. It's not their fault because they're gonna say everybody got opinions because opinions are easy. Action is hard.
Action is hard. Continuous,
consistent action.
Consistency is hard.
Yes,
absolutely.
It is very hard. Consistency is very hard. I must say that is one of the things where you see a lot of people fall short on. Like they
absolutely
be consistent, and I know that's one of my pet peeves. Like if you was doing something in 1999, I'm gonna need you to still do it if it's positive and it's
absolutely
it makes sense because you're being consistent about it. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people start, stall.
But those are the people who want to give you advice. Those are the people who want to step up. Someone who's doing their thing, I'll never be a discouragement or some barrier in your way. They always. If you talk to me about health and working out, I can give you all the information I have that works for me. And I'll never tell you, oh, man, you don't need to do such and such. Whatever you think you need to do, and if I can help you, I'm going to help you. If not, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Period. And it's all projection.
And that's how, and you reject that projection.
Yeah.
And reflect that shit right back. Get that mirror. Like, here you go. Look at this mirror. That's you.
We got to start doing that. We got to
focus on that shit.
We got to hold them just as accountable as we need to be holding ourselves.
Absolutely.
And everybody going to elevate or they going to stop messing with you. One of the two. Win-win.
Hey. They're going to join you or they're going to fall off. One of the two.
That's it.
Yeah.
But some people, that goes with the saying. Like some people is not meant to be on that journey with you anyway.
Absolutely.
So
everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go.
Can't go.
They can't go.
And there's also one element that I I want to introduce too into the conversation, specifically as it pertains to like the diabetes. I know that that was the letter that came in from our extended cousin, but sometimes it takes just sitting down and kind of trying to restructure even your diet and figuring out what swaps are there, like just little bit by little bit, death by 1,000 cuts, you know what I'm saying? So like, let's say you like sweets all the time. If there is a sweet alternative, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe swap out the cake for some frozen bananas that taste like ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Like when you mash it up, it's like frozen yogurt. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I make my smoothies.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And there are elements out there if we open up our eyes and make ourselves expose ourselves to that. Like everything don't have to stay the same, and you can still kind of get what you want, but in a way that is healthier for you and works better for you. Swerve is a brand that I like that it's no sugar. It started geared towards diabetics, right? And now it's becoming more popular because everybody's trying to be like low carb, low sugar, gluten free, all of those things. But you can make a cake with Swerve. And for me, sometimes if I need that sweets, I'll make the Swerve cake and then use regular icing. But guess what? I'm still doing better than had I had a regular cake with regular icing.
Junie,
You're still active, and you still work out all the time too. Sorry.
Yeah, you work out, and also with the sugar, monk fruit. Replace the sugar with monk fruit. Monk fruit is so, y'all, when I found out about monk fruit through a keto diet through one of my insurance friends, and he was like, that monk fruit is the bomb. I also found out about almond flour. Like, you can make it with almond flour instead of, so you can use almond flour, monk fruit, and just kind of start training your taste buds. And if you start drinking, at least, if you was drinking one, try to inch up to 3. Then try to inch up to 4, because you have, in order to get a gallon in a day, and you're supposed to do like 90 to 100 ounces of water a day, but that's like five. Okay, so a gallon is seven bottles. I try to drink 7 bottles, but I don't beat myself up if I don't get to 7 bottles. I'm going to do 5. So work your way up. Okay, I need to drink 7 to really get my body flushed out and to keep my weight down. Start with saying, okay, I'm gonna start with a hardcore 3, and then move your way up. And another way I got my water is every hour I drink a bottle. So if I start my eating window, don't be eating late at night, or you find
going to bed
for you, and going to bed and sleeping or whatever. But even if you do, if that's your eating window, because some people's eating window is 2 to 10 because they work late or whatever the case may be. But stick to it.
But you got to make the adjustments.
Yeah, you have to make
adjustments. And you have to do what's best for you. Do what's best for you. Me, I went from a gallon to half gallon only because I know my body retains a lot more water. So you have to make the adjustments necessary for you. I know for me, I'm not a sweetie. Sweets aren't for me. And just make this disclaimer that type 2 diabetes is when it's the lifestyle change. Some people are just born with the type 1 diabetes. So it's hard with that. But type 2 is definitely when we have to make that lifestyle change, as well as, anything in moderation. There are days where I'm craving like, I think I want a cake. But I'm not eating cake and ice cream and pizza and all this every single day. So it's like, do things.
I satisfy myself.
That's
my
and I'm
let me tell y'all.
I like salt. I like chips. Stuff like that.
I like
Give me some salsa and dip. That's what I like. Chips. I like stuff like that. Chips.
Baby, I'll murk a chip. I'll eat
me too.
I love chips. I'm be the little bag. I might as well get the big bag, but I know that's my weakness. And versus just cutting it off from myself, I don't do that. I allow, guess what? I could teal over day tomorrow doing all this stuff. So I allow myself satisfaction thing. Yeah, like on the weekend. So Monday through Thursday, I'm doing my 12 to 8. I'm doing my gallon. I'm working out. Fridays, I kind of relax a little bit. Yes,
I find it easy on the busy weekdays. If you are a typical 9 to 5, or if you have a typical 9 to 5 kind of, weekday job, it's easy for me because I'm busy. I'm busy nonstop. I have a busy job. I'm busy. So it's easy to stay regimented. When I do have that downtime, that's when the cravings come in. And I need a chip, and I need it. So usually it's on the weekend. So give yourself that, that kind of release to have that chip, have this, because you've been so good all these other days. So just change and change your lifestyle. Like I said, in moderation, it's good. I don't see anything wrong with it. But when you just sit, I mean, I've seen people just sit and just eat crap all
day, every day,
all day.
literally,
Drink
and
soda,
just sit.
drink soda. Girl, some people drink 6 and 7. I'm like, instead of drinking them 6, 7 cans,
you could drink some water.
But when you drink so much water, if you notice, when you drink so much water, you don't like soda. Some days I'll be like, oh, I need a flavor, and it don't taste good because I drink so much water. It does not.
It cleans it cleans your taste palate too. But I wanted to also say, like, another thing too. Let me tell you about temptation.
Oh yeah.
During the week, sometimes that temptation be like, go and get a chip. It ain't but 230 calories. I'm like, I ain't messing up. Like, I literally talk to myself.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
come on, baby.
Drink water, baby. Go get that chip. You gonna mess up like, you have to train your mind.
Self-awareness. Self-awareness.
Yeah.
And you have to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah. Yes. But look, I'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna eat a dinner, but then I'll look at JC on food and be like, all right, let me just get a little piece.
I save it for the weekend. When I cook for the boys, I save the good stuff for, like, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna eat this weekend. You know, I satisfy myself.
Hey, give you something to motivate you.
Yeah. So on the weekend, I'll do it. But when it comes to it during the week, for me, it's a no. It's a no, you can't have it. You can't have it. Sure. So just making those little changes. I mean, did you have any other questions, Junie, to kind of add to this and just kind of wrapping up? What would we want the takeaway to be?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is just make a decision for yourself how you want your life to be. And then once you do that, if you know what the end goal is, you just take every day and hack away at that every single day, no matter how big, no matter how small. If you get off the boat, get back on and do that. But you have to make a decision for yourself what you want and what your body needs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Julie just said, like you said, it's all about, it's your journey at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to, as you go into different aspects of life, even with the fitness aspect, everything is not going to work for you. It's the more self-aware and tapped in you get into yourself, you understand how your body works. Like for me, I've been working out consistently for so long that I can eat anything I want. Mm-hmm. But after a while, you don't want to eat certain things anymore, not because it's always unhealthy, it's just like I don't like it anymore. I know it's not going to serve my purpose over time, but again, that comes with time. You don't overinvest in certain things. As far as, don't beat yourself up because you did this or that, because it discourages you. So it's like you said to Juana earlier, those small increments, be grateful for those small things. These damn pants used to be a little tighter, now it fit. These little small things will keep you motivated. I know people want to kind of jump off and have like the natural Kardashian body or something like that in a week.
Come on.
But
that's not natural, period. You need to realize.
Yeah, but you know.
Look, when you bottom heavy, you have no top. We just know how that go. When you top heavy, you have no top. That's just how it goes. We all know the rules. So we go purchase what we lacking. So that's what it is. Nobody, no.
But I think people can also be, if you're a person that know that you're influenced by other people's stuff, social media might not be for you during these times, especially when you're first getting started. And you have to have, again, the self-awareness and discipline to be able to say, okay, well, it's just Facebook. It's not just Facebook. Especially if you're going to measure yourself by it. So you need to understand that when you start your journey in comparison is like I think I read somewhere the comparison is like the seed of unhappiness or something like that. Comparing yourself to others is a waste of time, and it only slows you down in your progression. And just to kind of bring it full circle with the letter from earlier, we as Black people need to understand our power as a community. And with that power comes a lot of responsibility. And one of those responsibilities is always looking out for our best interests as individuals, as our families. So if you're not getting the services you want from, I don't care what it is. It's a doctor, if it's you go into a store and they don't give you the right service, don't spend your money there. Don't spend your energy there. We want to go in there, spend the money, and then boycott. Like, what? How ridiculous is that? Again, at the end of the day, we need to really understand our worth and value and then plug that into our self-awareness. And then I think things will slowly improve in our communities. So
I have to definitely
I'm done with that.
And I think we need to stop comparing ourselves and stop trying to keep up with the trends, because that's pretty much what we're doing, right? Because big booties was not the thing in the 90s. It was not. I'm just being honest, because these video vixens and stuff came out, and now big booties are like, oh my God, I have to stop it. In the 80s and 90s, everybody wanted to be slim because we were going based off the little magazines that they were telling us was cute and sexy. Now that curves is cute and like, we just need to embrace ourselves, embrace our body, what you have. You better strut. Look, I'm a strut like I got the biggest butt in the world. Even if I don't, it don't matter. Make it cute, make it sexy. You make it your own. Embrace your body, embrace yourself. We have to love ourselves a lot more than we have been. Seriously, because that's what makes us feel the way we feel at the end of the day. Embrace yourself, embrace your body. But when you're going down a path of unhealthy health lifestyle, we have to make those necessary changes, seriously, because a big booty is not going to be okay when you in the hospital. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all.
Lastly, just to round everything out, everybody said everything before. Be open-minded when it comes to your journey. Find accountability partners when it comes to, your health, because if you're not eating health and wealth, and if you're not feeding your spirit, positive things in your body, you know what I'm saying, health, then you're eating disease. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be causing illnesses ultimately. So that diabetes or that high cholesterol or whatever you have going on, that's the results of bad habits. So look at your lifestyle and make the correct adjustments like everybody else is saying. Don't take advice from somebody who you wouldn't normally, listen to, especially if they 350 pounds headed to 600-pound life. You can't tell me nothing about no health now. And that goes for your doctors, that goes for family members, because it's always the ones with the dirty fingers pointing. The dirty fingers always pointing. Oh, you notice that? It's always the ones with the dirty fingers pointing their hand. But don't, you have to clear out the noise and just, you got to do what's best for you. This podcast is all about, we talk about these issues in our culture because we want to help. We want to be the solution. We want to bring, the results that we need as a community so that we can be better. You know what I'm saying? It's power in the people. I always say that it's power in the people. And the only way that we're going to get back to where we once was is if we start listening and taking this information and applying it to ourselves, especially if it needs applying. So that's my roundup.
Definitely agree with that.
All right, y'all. Well, we are at the end of another episode in another week. So until next week, we love y'all, and we'll see y'all. Stay good, stay healthy.
All right.
Hey, cousin.
Martine, you have to end it because you're the host.
Me?
Yeah, I made you the host, so you got to stop recording.
Okay.